The following program is underwritten by Barlow's Clam Shack, located at 856 Scenic Highway in Bourne. Barlow's Clam Shack, where the seafood is always fresh.
Hi, and welcome to the February 2024 Bourne Review. I'm Susan Barlow. First, for some headline news and announcements. Is the sky falling? It may have felt that way on February 15th when two cars in separate incidents were struck by chunks of ice falling while driving over the Sagamore Bridge. One car had its windshield shattered and another, 2 hours later, had damage to its sunroof. That must have been a real shock to drivers and any passengers. Mass DOT has begun making repairs to the Bourne Rotary, mostly involving repaving and line striping. Work will mainly be done at night. A $4 million lottery ticket was sold in Buzzards Bay at Sam's Food Stores and Citgo, 261 Main Street. Congratulations to that lucky person. At the February 8th Planning Board meeting, a 2-year extension was granted to Cumberland Farms for the construction of their new gas station at the Bourne Rotary. The proposed and approved 20 gas pump project was first approved in 2017. The shed on the property that once housed Cape Cod Kayak was earlier on a tourist information booth in its former life and was voted to be preserved and moved to the VFW across from Grey Gables Market to serve as a thrift shop for veterans. Massachusetts Maritime Academy expects to receive delivery of their new $300 million training ship, the TS Patriot State II, by this summer. Prior to its arrival, the dock at the Mass Maritime Academy will require a $15 million upgrade to accommodate it. The new ship is shorter than the previous T.S. Kennedy, but it is wider and therefore more susceptible to wind and will require a stronger dock. On January 29th, Bourne Intermediate School Principal Jane Norton announced her retirement. Ms. Norton has been in the school district for 30 years and is a graduate of Bourne High School herself. She was principal of the Peebles Elementary School until the new Bourne Intermediate School was constructed and opened in 2019. A replacement will be sought via search committee. We wish her all the best and thank her for her many years of wonderful service to our town. The Monument Beach Polar Club handed over a check for $40,000 from its Polar Plunge 2024 fundraiser to the Bourne Food Pantry. Organizers had hoped to surpass their $38,000 donation that they made last year, and they did it. Well done. There's great fun and a very good deed done from jumping in that freezing cold water on New Year's Day. Congratulations to all the participants. A company called Tulp Outdoors will be moving into the Christmas tree shop in Sagamore under a short-term lease. They expect to open March 1st. Tulp LLP is a family-owned company with a line of high-quality outdoor furniture and accessories. The company is from the Netherlands, and they liked the windmill, which has been iconic to the Netherlands. Tulp's headquarters and warehouse are in Carver. Many have said how much they miss the Christmas tree shop, and it will be nostalgic to walk back into that thatched roof building once again. Hyannis will experience some changes in latitudes and changes in attitudes. The Cape Cod Resort in Hyannis will reopen this summer as a Margaritaville resort and include the Land Shark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock Somewhere Bar, the Salty Rim Bar and Grill, the Feeding Frenzy, and Joe Merchant's Coffee and Provisions. There'll be lots of frozen cocktails too. They've come to the right place with the song Sharks to the Left and Sharks to the Right here on Cape Cod. The Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, CCRT, has announced that you can ride for free for those who are 60 years and older or those with disabilities. For more information on bus routes and restrictions, visit capecodrta.org. Sadly, a young female right whale was found dead off Martha's Vineyard. A necropsy report, the term used for an autopsy on an animal, determined that the death was likely from a rope entanglement that had been deeply put into the whale's tail. The whale was born in 2021 and was the only calf of the whale known as Silka. Some of the rope that was entangled around and embedded in the whale was collected and studied, and officials announced that the purple markings on the rope is consistent with rope used in Maine water trap and pot buoy lines. It is estimated that there are only around 360 right whales left in existence, and this is a sad loss. According to the Scripps Institute, only 70 right whales are reproductively active, and the death of a female right whale sets this critically endangered species back a year or more. It would have been possible for this young female to birth up to 30 whales over its reproductive lifetime. There are tens of millions of fishing lines in the Atlantic Ocean, and whales find themselves entangled in them and then twist and spin their massive bodies trying to free themselves, often causing deep cuts and gashes and embedding the ropes into their body. The Falmouth Fishermen's Association will hold its next meeting at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, March 5th at the Weary Travelers Club, 77 Valley Bars Road in Mo Beach. The speaker for this meeting is club member Carl Mancuso, director of the product line management at Teledyne Marine, Benthos, and Falmouth. Benthos is actively involved in the development of ropeless, on-demand systems that use acoustic signaling to replace the vertical lines on lobster fishing trawls. The presentation will cover the new technologies that are being tested for the lobster industry in New England and Canada. Now for our top stories. If you'd like to get involved in town politics, the time is now. Here's the details of what boards and committees have openings. Nomination papers are available until March 29th. Papers must be completed and filed by April 2nd, and April 16th is the last day to withdraw from the race or to object to someone's nomination papers. Friday, May 10th is the last day to register to vote in the town election, which is held on May 21st. Mary Jane Mastrangelo has announced that she will run for re-election to the Select Board and has taken out her nomination papers. Select Board member Jared McDonald's term is also coming to an end, and he has not announced whether or not he will run for re-election. Jean Azarovitz of the Planning Board has taken out papers to seek a seat on the Select Board. Town Clerk Barry Johnson has pulled his nomination papers to seek re-election to the clerk position that he's held since 2003. Moderator Amy Coular is up for re-election and plans to run again. Planning Board members Daniel Doucette, Catherine Walton, and Christopher Farrell are also up for re-election. Mr. Farrell is also on the Veterans Memorial Community Center Board of Trustees and has announced that he will run for re-election to both boards. Daniel Doucette has pulled his nomination papers in order to run again. Carrie McRae and Paul McMasters are up for re-election to the school committee, but as of this report, no one has pulled papers for that board. Louise Gallo and Joseph Lusick are up for re-election to the Recreation Authority Board, and no one has yet pulled papers for that board. William Doherty and Donald Udy are up for re-election to the Bourne Board of Health. Rachel Friedman of Gray Gables has pulled papers to run for a seat on the Board of Health. Susan Schmidt and myself are up for re-election to the Public Library Board of Trustees. And Susan Schmidt has taken out nomination papers, but I will not be running for re-election to the Library Trustee Board. William Dusty Meyer has pulled papers to run for the non-veteran seat on the Board of Trustees for the Bourne Veterans Memorial Community Building. William Doherty and Christopher Farrell have pulled papers for re-election to the veteran seats on that board. What can be done about nip bottles litter in Bourne? Wellfleet has decided to deal with the litter of nip bottles by offering a 10-cent return per bottle, rather than going the route of a complete ban on nip bottles. Banning nip bottles is damaging to small business of liquor stores, as they get about 10% of their revenue from nip bottle sales. And it's also ineffective, as consumers can just buy them in a neighboring town and then throw them out wherever. 9 towns in Massachusetts have banned the sales of nip bottles. They are Chelsea, Brewster, Falmouth, Fairhaven, Mashpee, New Bedford, Newton, Plymouth, and Wareham. Liquor store owners do support Bills H3690 and S2104 to propose incrementally increasing the percentage of redeemed and recycled beverage containers so that by 2031, 95% are redeemed and recycled. Wellfleet's 10-cent payback reward rebate program started February 1st. People can get cash for the empty nips or use the money toward a store purchase. The nips will be stored until the state adopts a recycling program for the nips. Bourne has discussed nip bottle litter and how to curtail it. Perhaps our liquor stores would like to adopt this 10-cent rebate program as well. The rebate program will also aid people who collect and return cans and bottles for deposits as a means of income. Here's what's happening downtown. It was announced that a new restaurant will open at the public hearing held on February 21st. The Bourne Select Board approved a liquor license for a new Lebanese restaurant to open at 340 Main Street. Owner Joseph Saeed, business manager Robert Youssef, and their lawyer Julian Morton described their business called Grill and More as a Lebanese style where you'll be able to go and grab your meat, the small plates, as well as have a seat, have a glass of wine. An all-alcoholic beverages common victualler license was approved for the restaurant, which will have 27 indoor seats and 24 outdoor seats. The restaurant is located in the new mixed-use building with the new gas station with apartments above. A $507,000 improvement project for the Main Street and Academy Drive intersection was approved at the February 13th Select Board meeting. Improvements include better motoring sight lines and more pedestrian visibility, and expanded sidewalks to help protect pedestrians and reduce speeding vehicles. 2 crosswalks will be widened into one with a texturized surface, providing drivers with a visible warning to reduce their speed. Environmental Partners estimates construction costs at $325,300. The additional proposed scope of the work brings the cost up to $507,231. Tim Lydon says part of the basic cost would be paid with a $200,000 State Department of Transportation Shared Streets and Spaces grant. The town will be responsible for the remaining $125,000. Improvements for Main Street safety, usefulness, functionality, and beautification is part of the ongoing efforts to make Bourne's Main Street as inviting and appealing as other economically viable and successful main streets around the Cape. Here's an update on town services. Bourne Select Board approved $75,000 of ARPA funds to improve and maintain our 5 baseball fields in Pecasset, Monument Beach, Keith Field, Clark Field, and the field behind the Bourne Veterans Memorial Community Center. Town officials came under fire last year for the poor condition of the fields. The fields had been maintained under a work-in-kind agreement with the Bourne Youth Baseball Organization in lieu of payment to use the fields. For years, there's been an informal agreement with the town and the Bourne Youth Baseball Group. Unfortunately, things broke down last summer and the players suffered, as did the town's reputation for having quality playing fields. Peter Meyer said in the meeting these kids should have what every other community has. Noting the superior status of fields in other towns, he recommends that funding for the field maintenance be worked into the town's long-term capital budget, and that would have to be approved by voters at town meeting. Catherine Matthews, acting director of the Bourne Recreation Department, is looking to make pickleball nets available at the courts. Currently, pickleball players must bring their own nets. Pickleball nets differ from the nets used in tennis. The repair of the courts themselves is progressing. Several companies have taken out bids for the repair projects of tennis, pickleball, and basketball courts at Clark Field in Sagamore Beach, Keith Field in South Sagamore, the Pecasset Recreation Area, and the Katomet Schoolhouse. At annual town meeting in May 2022, residents approved a request from the Recreation Committee for $330,000 in Community Preservation Act funds for this project. Here's what's happening at the library.
Hi everyone, this is Kathy Fox Alfano and
Nicholas Schiller.
At the library. Here's what's happening now at the library.
We have a few events coming up. Starting Thursday of this week, there's a talk on data privacy tips. I'm actually delivering this, and it's going to be over across the canal at the Bourne Community Center. And then also on Thursday at 2 o'clock here at the library is an event called At Home with Eleanor Roosevelt, where we'll join author and historian Carol Cohen for a look into the life of Eleanor Roosevelt. And so there'll be some history and some background details here in the community room. Other things coming up, on Saturday the 9th, we're bringing in a speaker to do a talk called No Irish Need Apply. It's on the history of the Irish in Boston, and it's presented by historian Christopher Daly. And that's just a few things.
That should be very interesting. In fact, I pulled one of my favorite current Irish books. Anything by Claire Keegan, and it's mercifully short. Have you read this? It's very good. So if you feel like reading an Irish author, I would highly recommend Claire Keegan. She has many books.
On next Wednesday, the 13th, we're doing a Women's History Month film festival, and we'll be showing the On the Basis of Sex, the biopic about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, now that's a woman. Boy, she was something. Well, I will talk about some women's authors who are just fabulous. If you haven't read Fiona Davis. She writes about women in New York City, and it's all about different landmarks that you will recognize in Manhattan. This one is about the New York Public Library, and this one is about, I believe this is Grand Central Station. So you'll learn a lot about history, and the power of women and how they've changed New York. It's very interesting.
This isn't really historical, but it's also written by a woman. As I was pulling out, going through some books for something to recommend, I always love to recommend Sarah Gailey. And this is a novel called Magic for Liars. I put it on a little display I did last month when I first came here on dark academe, or sort of Gothic stories told in private school or college settings. And so this is a lovely little story about a woman who's called back to a private school she once attended as a private investigator to uncover dark going on there. But
sounds very interesting.
I'm always happy when I read Sarah Gailey.
All right.
The library will hold a spring concert by Scott Ouellette on Saturday, March 23rd from 2 to 3 p.m. in the library's community room. On Saturday, March 30th from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., author Christy Palmer Lawrence will talk about her book, Nature's Ambassador, The Legacy of Thornton W. Burgess. There's Thursday night knitters group, and on Wednesdays from 10 to noon, it's Fiber Friends, which is open to all. Knit, crochet, or work on any type of stitching. Bring your own project or try a beginner project. Yarns and needles are supplied. The library has installed these beautiful blue benches out in the children's garden on the side of the library, just in time for spring. Check out the library website for children's programs. Interested in becoming a friend of the library? Check out their next monthly meeting on Monday, March 25th from 1 to 3 p.m. in the community room at the library. The Bourne Food Pantry, located at 121 Main Street, is open Tuesdays from 9 to noon. You can reach the pantry by phone Mondays through Wednesdays at 508-759-3351. Meals on Wheels is in desperate need of drivers in Bourne. Please call Elder Services of Cape Cod at 508-394-4630 if you or your organization can deliver meals. Bourne Recreation Department is offering the following programs. Glow Light Easter Egg Hunt on Thursday, March 28th at 7 p.m. for grades K through 6. It's free to Bourne residents at the Bourne Community Center Gym. Eggs will contain peanut-free candy. Children should wear sneakers and bring their own baskets. There will be some small baskets to borrow if needed. Bright, bold colored clothing is encouraged. Let's glow. Complete your registration at bournerec.com. Thinking about what to do with the kids this summer? Bourne Rec Summer Program registration is now available at bournerec.com. Summer program runs Mondays through Fridays, June 24th through August 9th, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. $980 for the full summer and $340 for 2-week sessions. Ages 6 through 13, entering first grade. The Bourne Council on Aging has lots of programming for seniors 60 years and older. Here's some breaking news. The Bourne Council on Aging has hired Chef Jean Lanahan, and the Bridge Cafe should be reopened by the end of March, with lunch served on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 11:30 to 1 p.m. for senior dining. Watch their Facebook page and website for more information and their menus. On May 8th, the Council on Aging hosts a talk, Busting Myths and Getting Savvy about Memory Care Assisted Living. The talk begins at noon on March 8th, and lunch will be provided. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day on March 11th at 1 p.m. with a St. Patrick's Day party at the Council on Aging with Roger Tinknell, performing Irish music and some Irish jigs too. Don't miss the fun with Team Trivia with Rodney Weston at 11 a.m. A Veterans Coffee Hour will be held on March 13th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. It happens the second Wednesday of the month. Registration is required. Also on March 13th from 4 to 6 p.m. is an open house for the Bridge Respite Care Day program. You can take a tour and meet the staff of our new Respite Day Care program that will be offered on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. starting this spring. Come meet Alyssa Lynch, Respite Care Manager. On March 19th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., it's Astrology, What the Stars Say About You with Dr. Victoria Serbo. You'll need to know your birth date, time of birth, and place of birth. For more information or to register for a program, call 508-759-0600 extension 5300. There's also a 5-week introductory computer class that will begin on April 17th. Classes will be held on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Here are some beautiful photos by area photographers showing the beauty that surrounds us. Here's a look at the calendar. As we move into spring, the Uptuxet Garden Club has 2 programs this month. On March 11th, Kathy Garepi, Master Gardener, will discuss the unique problems and opportunities of shade gardening and suggest plants that will give us blooms from spring to fall. Non-members are welcome for a $5 donation. The program starts at 1 p.m. and is held in the hall at the Bourne United Methodist Church next door to the Bourne Library on Sandwich Road. On March 20th, Kristen Nicholson of Bluestem Nursery will share her knowledge of local native plants and their availability. This program begins at 6:30, also at the Bourne United Methodist Church. If you'd like more information about the Uptuxet Garden Club, visit uptuxetgardenclub.com. On March 14th, the Bourne Society for Historic Preservation will present Restoration vs. Renovation, a talk by Craig Smith of Katomet. Craig has worked on a variety of projects including furniture, tall sailing ships, modern construction, and historic houses. For reservations, call 508-563-1087. Refreshments will follow across from the library at the Briggs McDermott House. The program will be held from 6:45 to 7:45 p.m. The Bourne Historical Society will host its annual Ham and Bean Supper on March 15th. For more information, visit bournehistoricalsociety.org. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up to date with what's happening in Bourne. Go to youtube.com and search for Bourne Community TV. Your membership supports programs like this one. It's easy to become a member. Just visit bournetv.com and click on the membership tab. Did you know that Bourne TV is a 501c3 nonprofit? Your business or organization can support Bourne TV by becoming an underwriter. Reach Bourne viewers via local channel subscribers and our internet audience. Call 508-759-6763 or email info@bournetv.com for more information. Well, thanks so much for watching this episode of the Bourne Review, and we'll see you next month.
The preceding program was underwritten by Barlow's Clam Shack, located at 856 scenic highway in Bourne. Barlow's Clam Shack, where the seafood is always fresh.